It was a normal evening, the kind of evening that feels ordinary until it isn't. The city was alive with routine sounds, traffic in the distance, televisions humming inside homes, phones buzzing with messages that felt harmless and familiar. In one small apartment, a civilian sat comfortably on his couch, scrolling through his WhatsApp messages, unaware that his life was about to change without a single warning. He was not rich, he was not famous, he was not important in any public way. He was just an ordinary man living an ordinary life, trusting the small green icon on his phone the same way millions of people around the world do every single day. And then, something strange happened. At first, it was small. A message appeared in a group chat that he didn't remember sending. He thought maybe it was a mistake, maybe his finger slipped, maybe he forgot. But then another message appeared, and then another. Messages sent to people he barely spoke to, messages written in a tone that wasn't his, messages asking for money, messages sharing links he had never opened. Confusion turned into fear. He checked his phone again. WhatsApp was still logged in. His number was active. Nothing looked broken. Nothing looked hacked. And yet his phone was behaving like it no longer belonged to him. That night he barely slept. By morning, the damage had begun to show. Friends called him, angry and confused. Some said they had sent money because they trusted him. Others accused him of spreading scams. His reputation, built slowly over years, was collapsing in hours. What he didn't know was that somewhere else, far from his apartment, a hacker sat comfortably behind multiple screens, watching everything. The hacker was patient, calm, experienced. This wasn't his first victim, and it wouldn't have been his last if things had gone according to plan. The hacker wasn't interested in drama. He was interested in control. Using the civilian's WhatsApp access, he impersonated him perfectly. He copied his tone, his timing, his relationships. He requested money from contacts. He harvested personal conversations. He gathered sensitive information, addresses, family details, emotional weaknesses. This wasn't just digital theft. This was identity hijacking. Inside the hacker's dark workspace, screens glowed softly. Notifications appeared as people responded, trusting the familiar name and profile picture. Each response felt like success. Each reply meant another step deeper into someone else's life. But the hacker made one mistake. He underestimated the cybercrime unit. When the civilian realized he could no longer control the situation, when WhatsApp support responses felt too slow and friends had already been hurt, he made a decision that changed everything. He walked into a cybercrime unit reporting office. Inside, the environment was calm but serious. Digital screens lined the walls. Officers moved with purpose. The civilian sat across from 3 officers, faces firm, professional, focused. One was a middle-aged detective in a dark navy police suit, calm eyes, years of experience. He listened without interrupting. Beside him stood a younger, athletic officer in a Navy tactical uniform, arms crossed, observing every detail. And behind multiple screens sat a female cyber officer, her hair tied back, fingers already moving as the civilian spoke, scanning patterns, looking for anomalies. The civilian explained everything: the strange messages, the money requests, the loss of control, the embarrassment, the fear. The detective nodded slowly. "This isn't your fault," he said calmly. "This is cybercrime." The cybercrime unit immediately launched an investigation. They didn't touch the victim's phone recklessly. They preserved evidence. They requested official data from service providers. They analyzed access logs at a high level. They tracked unusual session behaviors, not how they were done, but where and when suspicious activity appeared. This was not about speed. This was about precision. As hours turned into days, the cyber officer noticed something interesting. The access pattern didn't match the civilian's routine. Time zones were off. Response timing was unnatural.
There was coordination, meaning this wasn't a beginner. "This isn't just one person guessing passwords," she said. "This is someone experienced." The younger officer leaned forward. "Then we'll need more than just local tracking." That's when the cybercrime unit made a call that civilians never hear about. They activated a secret agent. The secret agent did not wear a uniform. He did not announce his presence. He operated quietly, embedded deep inside digital spaces where criminals felt safe. His role was simple but dangerous: become invisible. Using lawful undercover cyber operations, the agent entered environments where digital criminals communicated, not hacking, not attacking, observing, listening, waiting. And eventually, the hacker slipped. The hacker bragged. Criminals often do. He discussed a clean WhatsApp job. He mentioned how easy people were to trust familiar contacts. He mentioned money. That was enough. The cybercrime unit now had a direction. They coordinated silently, no confrontation, no warning. When the hacker logged in again, confident, relaxed, law enforcement was already watching. The arrest didn't happen in cyberspace. It happened in the real world. Early morning, a quiet knock on a door. The hacker opened it, still half asleep, unaware that the screen was no longer protecting him. He was arrested without drama. No shouting, no resistance, just the sudden realization that the screen was no longer protecting him. In court, the evidence was overwhelming: digital misuse, financial fraud, identity exploitation, emotional harm. The judge didn't need much time. The sentence was clear: prison time, a heavy financial penalty, permanent criminal record. The message was stronger than the punishment itself. Cybercrime is real crime. The civilian got his life back, but not without scars. Trust takes time to rebuild, but justice had been served. Before closing the case, the cybercrime unit did something important. They didn't just stop the criminal, they educated the public. In a briefing room, a cyber officer stood in front of a camera, calm and professional. "Protecting your WhatsApp doesn't require technical expertise," she said. "It requires awareness." She explained clearly and safely, without giving instructions criminals could misuse. Always enable official security features provided by the app. Never share verification codes. Be cautious of unexpected messages, even from known contacts. If something feels urgent or emotional, pause. Criminals rely on pressure. Her voice was firm. "Your digital identity is as valuable as your physical one. Treat it with the same care." The screen faded to black, and then a final message appeared. If you want to stay informed, if you want to protect yourself and your loved ones, if you want real stories that expose modern crime and real justice, subscribe to the Cybercrime Unit channel. Because in the digital age, awareness is protection, and justice doesn't just exist in courtrooms anymore.